So what are the benefits of doing all this? So bringing virtual reality inside of V5, primarily the goal is to immerse the operator in a one-to-one scale mockup. It's important to understand that this is done natively in V5. There is no data translation, no loss of metadata information, no loss of geometry. The process happens natively within your V5 database. First-person control, meaning I can look around in the V5 world, I can reach, I can interact with my V5 data as I would with reality. The true sense of dimension and scale is crucial. In order for the motion that we're validating to be natural and validate things as close as possible to reality, obviously I have to see things the right scale if I want to reach and grab things at the right scale. So to make the haptics world and the visual world coincide with perfect scale is a key element of this. So that was for visualization in V5 in a VR capacity. In terms of motion capture in V5, the real-time animation of the mannequin that Jérome talked about gives you a true sense of performing the actual gestures, and that's critical. In a lot of cases, our customer bring people from the assembly line, for example, people who will be assembling the car every day, 8 hours a day, and ask them to perform the actual gestures, and do they have a feel for how repeatable the task is going to be. At the same time, because you're driving a real ergonomic mannequin, you can perform real in-depth analysis on all the ergonomic factors and determine the repeatability of a task, for example. The data collection is also interesting to produce technical documentation. If you have a trained operator performing the task, documenting it is as easy as recording it in 3D and playing it back for other operators. Second part of the benefits, why go multi-user? Well, manufacturing processes and training processes and maintenance processes are typically multi-operator tasks in the real world. And so bringing multiple people inside a shared environment, whether be it for an operator plus supervisor scenario or a multiple operator doing a collaborative task like cable routing or soldering, is pretty critical. So in conclusion, the novel aspects of what we're presenting today are really, the multi-user portion of this. Natively in V5, multiple operators, multiple displays is something that is critical to the success of the simulation and also very new, very novel. The scale 1 visualization at the same time as mocap, like I stressed earlier, is also something that we believe will bring great value to our customers. A few roadmap items here. Remote operation of a simulation like that can further reduce cost and enhance benefits for the end user. So you could imagine multiple cave systems in remote locations, multiple mocap systems in remote locations. So for example, if you want to bring in the expertise of an operator from site A, training an operator in site B, they don't necessarily need to travel and be in the same cave. If you have a form of immersive display capacity on both ends, you can do remote collaboration there. Mixed mockup is also a subject of interest, where in addition to viewing a virtual world in one-to-one scale, doing one-to-one scale gestures in this world, we want to introduce physical prototypes, because in some cases you just can't do without them, and have the whole simulation accommodate for the presence of physical objects into the world. And then as we take questions, what I want to do is roll a video that shows you all of this in operation, hopefully. Any minute now. quickly. As we wait for this to load, I don't know, are there any questions?
Thank you. I'm wondering on, do you have some a preparation process beyond the CAD part before entering in our ergonomic visualization or analysis? You have a lot of process to limit the size of the CAD part, the number of parts, or like that. Yeah.
So there's really two angles. Good thing there's two of us. There's visualization of the world in real time. So obviously, a model that V5 is not even able to display, we're not going to be able to do much about that, although our conduit software does speed up rendering. Compared to base V5, we render faster than V5, but not infinitely so. So your data preparation would be the same as an existing digital mockup review preparation. You know, anything from batch, tessellation of CGRs at night, whatever the customer has got in place today, to create a digital mockup that is visible. That would be the part that is required for the visual aspect of this. For the force feedback aspect of this, now that Jérome successfully launched the video, I'm going to let him answer that portion of it.
About the processing for the human animation, everything is automatic today. So, which means that our plugin for V5 just asks V5 for the tessellation of the mannequins, because we need obviously the geometry of the mannequins, and they depend on the anthropometry and what parameters you gave, and also the tessellation of all the parts which are present in the scene. So this transfer information is automatic. It's just asking V5 for tessellation. There's nothing to do on the native on the CAD data itself. You might want to speed up though. So again, building CGRs in cache will help for the pre-processing. But once you're running, there's no more geometry flow at all. So you're just updating the position of parts, and a mannequin built as a robot is a set of parts which are moving with respect to each other. There's no deformation of a mesh, for example, in V5. So you're just updating the position of parts, which is really efficient. So that's why in the end you have almost no latency and no preparation of data needed. All the parts are tessellated, yes.
Question? I have a question. What's the most difficult part to make the setup for Lockheed Martin?
Do you mean from an end user perspective or from our perspective?
No. End user perspective. About the usage of the interface, or the fact to integrate the tools inside the process itself.
I would think that as you saw in the picture of the chill lab at Lockheed Martin, there's a lot of hardware in that room. We didn't see that on the picture, but there's a lot of people in that room. There's 4 VR operators, 2 supervisors, a group of design specialists. I would think that the hardest thing to do is to figure out how to work. Figure out the workflow of putting 4 people immersed and they can't see you because they were in HMD, and getting all the parts in place, building the expertise as an organization to be able to leverage these tools is probably the most critical part, because everything else is commercial off the shelf. Just buy it and we'll make it work. But we can't teach you how to build VR, multi-user immersive VR into your process. That's an organization challenge.
And how long time you take, you know, to make the complete installation?
Installation like the one we saw in the picture. A cave is, you know, between a month and 3 months. The whole lab probably took, with everything in there, probably took 6 months, give or take. But Lockheed Martin has been doing this under one form or another for 10 years. And so they have the in-house expertise of operating a center like that.
Any questions? So thank Julien and Jérome for coming. Thank for you for coming too.